video games, if someone dies, and they probably will, they simply respawn or reappear after passing. It gives you the opportunity to try again. What if we could respawn in the real world, try again, and build a deeper connection with the people in our lives? Respawning to try and rethink the way that we can approach one another. Back in the fall of 2019, I was fresh out of high school and eager to enter the workforce because college was too expensive. I was a stereotypical, shy Asian kid. My only work experience had been with the many youth programs I'd interfaced with throughout my high school career. I had a distrust for higher education because it felt irrelevant and didn't provide me any direct opportunity to learn something I'm passionate about nor make a living sooner. I spent a year working for a nonprofit. However, it wasn't a great fit for me. Culturally, I was there, but I wasn't mentally prepared for the depth of work. Then, in 2020, I was invited to work with YEBO, the Youth Empowerment Broadcasting Organization, which was founded in 2017 to teach youth how to be more intentional with their digital practices. I learned how to create a podcast, and then that fall started and helped lead their elective course, Podcasting 101, at Empower Community High School. I've always been interested in podcasting since I was that shy kid. This was a great way to use my newfound voice. In the 2020 world, racial reckoning in the US and COVID had shaken up our everyday routines. This was a time to rethink, respawn our approach to learning. That summer, while I was working on my podcast, I was introduced to the concept of critical digital pedagogies through Dr. Arturo Cortez at CU Boulder. When YEBO decided to partner with the CU program, and in spite of my hesitance about higher education, I was suddenly enrolled in a university class and helping facilitate it. This was a respawning, rethinking, re-envisioning of how it could be in higher education. I spent hours on end, not only writing and being a student in the course, but also planning meaningful learning experiences. And it was really tough. Our professor, Dr. Cortez, also believes in play as a key part of learning. So we also spend time literally playing games and also watching streamers play games, and sometimes engaging in their chats. I learned that nothing works unless we do, and that joy should be invasive in the workplace. After we had finished the course, then students and professors at CU helped us as research partners in our own YEBO course at Empower Community High School. So we developed a reciprocal relationship. Teachers, students, rather than an I give, you take kind of teaching, we were respawning, rethinking, re-envisioning these relationships, an intergenerational, almost cross-generational kind of learning. This led us to the summer of 2022. The Lit Lab was formed, consisting of YEBO and our partners at CU Boulder. In our initial discussions, we talked about how racism, sexism, all those isms show up in our video games. How could we disrupt that? For Black, Indigenous people of color, there's no true representation of our unique identities. How could we reimagine a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 to fully represent the Lit Lab? We invited community-driven streamers like BB Bones, students from Empower, and staff members to co-create this game alongside one another for the entire summer of 2022. By recreating, modding, and redesigning this game to better represent ourselves, we spent hours and hours together, inside and outside of the project time. We spent hours playing video games together, watching streams together. We became invested not only in the project, but in each other. I came to see this as disrupting our firewalls. Firewalls protect your computers from threats like dangerous viruses. It acts as a last line of defense for computer networks. But what about the firewalls we have in our lives? When we think about firewalling, we think about putting up protection. When you meet somebody, everybody has their natural firewalls. This is how we protect ourselves because we don't want to be hurt by other people. We put on these firewalls as a defense mechanism. This begs the question, how might we let down our own firewalls to build connections? One time, I was in a YEBO staff meeting, and it was already a heavy day. I had just learned that my aunt was terminally ill, and I just started crying. My aunt wasn't that old, and this was the first person in my life that was close to me that was going to pass. Traditionally, I don't cry around people who aren't my mom. But this time, it was different. I just let my tears fall. It made me reflect on my mortality, and even more importantly, it disrupted my own firewall. We paused the meeting, my boss, Corey, and I went for a walk, then we played some games together. I had a safe space to cry and let my sad emotions be felt. We talked about how nothing works unless we do, and that it's okay to take a pause. What really stands out to me from this experience is to pause, drop the firewall, and cherish the moments we have with the people around us. When we drop the firewall, it gives us the opportunity to respawn, to try again, and build a deeper connection with the people in our lives. Respawning to try and rethink the way that we can approach one another. The idea that our work lives and personal lives need to be separate is oppressive. It prevents our emotions from fully expressing. Rather, our work lives and personal lives are slices of the same pie. We need to be able to show our most authentic selves. What I've learned is video games are a mirror to our physical reality. What I've learned is that accomplished projects don't just happen through sheer hard work. It's through intentional relationships where we create magic. Thank you.